I mean, these are sort of the things that really scare somebody who's wanting to change but has maybe not addressed their emotional intelligence, their feelings, and really what they want from life. Can you go into a little bit about what emotional intelligence is and how somebody can develop theirs? Is it just put themselves into comfortable positions, or?
You know what? I think you shouldn't just put yourself into uncomfortable positions. Sometimes it's good to put yourself into a very comfy position. So there's times, I think, to push yourself, like when you're thinking, oh, should I go to that party, but I could just watch this TV again. That's a good time to give yourself a bit of a kick up the butt. Other times, though, you know what? If you've had something really that you found has really profoundly emotionally affected you and you're upset, if you want to go and curl up in a ball in bed for an evening, fine. There are times to kind of look after yourself and introspect as well. I find that some really valuable things to do to develop emotional intelligence. First of all, there's a couple of premises that I think are accurate, which is one, that there's always so many different ways that you can view any situation. Most of us, when we're interpreting reality, we do the spotlight effect, where we think everything is to do with us, i.e., this girl hasn't texted you back, that means that she's been, for whatever reason, deliberately toying with your emotions and leading you on and messing you around. The reality is probably that she didn't have any bad intentions towards you whatsoever. She's just, for whatever reasons, probably to do with her own life, not that invested in the conversation, is distracted by other things that are coming up as more important to her, so she's being not as good at texting you back. So stop from a position. So I'd start recognizing there's probably multiple different ways of looking at any situation. Secondly, that it's not all about you. Most people's reactions are about themselves and stuff that's going on with them, and you don't really actually have that much influence over them. I think I would teach to both my men and my women to be responsible for yourself. I think it's a really lame thing to say, oh, I only meet women that are bitches, or I only meet guys that are real bastards. Shut up is what I say to that. It's you choose who you spend your time with. You choose what behavior you accept. Okay, sometimes people let us down. Sometimes people are deceitful, and that's not our fault. However, I think taking responsibility is one of the best ways to feel empowered and good. It's good to hold your hand up and say, you know what, I made some stupid decisions. Or you know what, I should have got out of that relationship sooner. Or you know what, I shouldn't have even bothered texting that person back. That's actually positive. Because when you are in this place where you have responsibility and you're not a victim, then you have a lot of power to create change. When you put yourself in a victim mindset where stuff is just happening to you, that's what's going to make you feel rubbish. So I also suggest a good butt kick on that front. And to communicate yourself, and to start working on a very practical level, to communicate yourself clearly. A simple swap is to use less you and use more I. So instead of saying to a woman, you're ignoring me, because that might not actually be the truth, you just say, look, I just noticed I've noticed you've been a bit quieter recently. That makes me feel like there's something's going on, and I wanted to check in with you and see what's up. That's actually a fairer and clearer way of communicating things. So instead of just assuming that someone is being away, that someone's ignoring you or is being cold or that they don't like you, that's just a big lot of assumptions that you've made, probably based around your insecurities, which may or may not be being triggered by whoever you're engaging with. But you don't really get very far by accusing people of things. You get far by acknowledging what you want, communicating it clearly, and then seeing if the other person responds. And does not respond, then you know that that's a good relationship to let go of. I think a great little system for this is just being okay. So what you do is okay, let's break this down. Someone is responding to you less. Let's just take that as a good example. Now, instead of just assuming and starting to build up a story in your brain that means that they don't like you or they're ignoring you, they met another guy, you just don't know. Go to what you know. What do you know? Start with that. You know that the volume of text messages has gone down. That's an objective fact, right? So it's a good place to start. Then you want to look to yourself and go, okay, that's the fact. How is that making me feel? And that could be making you feel ignored or neglected, or that the person isn't attracted to you or annoyed. And those feelings are your feelings. They're not that person feeling. You know, that's how you are feeling. So choose that. Then, because you recognize your feelings, I'll think, okay, what do I need to feel comfier and happier with this person? Then communicate that by saying I need, I think, I feel, I want, I believe. And then ask them in a very pragmatic way to create some change. So that could be, you know, state what you want. Say, you know, I'd like to chat to you more often, or, you know, for me, when I'm dating someone, I want to see them at least once a week. You know, you're allowed to say that. That's your worldview, and that's what you desire in relationships. Now, the key here is when you've ticked all those boxes and you know you've been very self-aware and you haven't created stories, you've made it clearly, then look how they respond. Any person who's good to have in your life will listen to you. They might not totally agree, but they will communicate what their position is, and they will keep talking to you. It's like a negotiation. People that are kind of like, I'm going to avoid is a strong word, probably like people that are not so great for you to partner up with, or probably not so ready for a relationship, or you don't have that level of connection, are people who ignore your needs, who just straight up dismiss your feelings, who don't adjust their behavior, who maybe don't have the emotional intelligence themselves to explain what they're thinking. So I think that's just what, you know, you're in it's a great test of a relationship or a situation, is like, can you communicate? And if so, does the person listen to you, and do they respect what you're communicating?